For years, a medical emergency could wreck more than your health. It could quietly torpedo your credit score. An unpaid medical bill, maybe stuck in insurance red tape, could set off a chain reaction of financial trouble, making it tough to get a mortgage, a car loan, or even a new job. Can you imagine a debt, possibly not even your fault, sticking to your credit report for up to 7 long years, even after you'd paid it? That was the tough reality for millions. But what if I told you that a wave of major rule changes means this silent threat might not have the same punch it used to? Before some recent changes, the road from a medical bill to a trashed credit score was surprisingly short. If a healthcare bill went unpaid, sometimes for just 60 to 120 days, providers could send that debt to a collection agency. Once it was in collections, it often got reported to the big 3 credit bureaus: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. This wasn't like other kinds of debt. Hospitals and doctors themselves rarely reported directly to the credit bureaus. It was when collection agencies got involved that your credit report usually took a hit, and the hit could be big. A medical collection on your report could slash your credit score. This negative mark could hang around for up to 7 years, even if you eventually paid the debt. This system created a huge financial headache, especially for people dealing with unexpected illnesses or confusing insurance fights. Many found their financial futures unfairly tangled up by medical problems they couldn't control. Things started to shift in July 2022. The major credit bureaus realized that medical debt isn't like other debts and isn't a great way to judge if someone's good for a loan. So, they made some big initial changes. One of the first key moves: paid medical collection debt would no longer show up on consumer credit reports. This was a huge deal, offering relief to folks who'd paid what they owed, but were still haunted by their credit history. Plus, the grace period before unpaid medical collections could be reported was stretched from 6 months to a whole year. This gave people more crucial time to sort out billing mistakes, talk with providers, or wait for insurance to pay up, all without the immediate fear of credit damage. Then, starting in April 2023, another protection was added. Medical collection debt under $500 was also removed from credit reports. Even credit scoring models like VantageScore started to either downplay or completely ignore medical collections when figuring out scores around this time. These steps, taken together, began to loosen the tight grip medical debt had on people's credit. The most talked about development came in January 2025, when the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, finalized a rule that aimed to largely ban medical bills from consumer credit reports used by lenders. Under this rule, lenders would be stopped from looking at medical debt when deciding if someone was creditworthy for big things like mortgages, car loans, or business loans. The impact was expected to be massive. The rule was projected to wipe an estimated $49 billion in medical debt off the credit reports of about 15 million Americans. For those people, this could mean an average credit score bump of around 20 points, potentially leading to thousands more affordable mortgages getting approved each year. The CFPB's thinking was clear. Medical debt doesn't really show if someone will pay back a loan and often comes from confusing billing, not from someone being bad with money. This rule was meant to be a fundamental change, aiming to stop the credit reporting system from being used to pressure people into paying bills that might not even be accurate. These evolving rules, especially the 2025 CFPB initiative, held the promise of substantial relief. For many, it suggested that a past or future medical bill sent to collections would no longer wreck their chances of getting a loan or good interest rates from lenders. Your credit score could get a real boost if old medical collections were removed or new ones were kept off the reports that lenders see. This is the shocking truth. The system was starting to agree that getting sick shouldn't automatically mean financial disaster or losing access to credit. But it's important to get the details right. These rules mainly affect how medical debt shows up on credit reports used by lenders. It doesn't necessarily mean the debt itself disappears. You might still owe the medical provider. Also, if you used a credit card for medical costs, that debt is usually treated like regular credit card debt and isn't covered by these specific medical debt rules. And, while lenders might be blocked from seeing or using this information, there was talk that it could still appear on specialized reports for non-lenders, like employers or landlords. though the CFPB rule aimed to limit this too. As of mid-2025, things around the CFPB's Big 2025 rule have gotten complicated. After it was finalized in January 2025, the rule faced legal challenges. A federal judge put a hold on it, delaying its effective date, which was first set for March, then pushed to June 15, 2025. More recently, around April and May 2025, reports surfaced that the CFPB, possibly influenced by new leadership, had reached an agreement with industry groups that had sued to throw out the rule. This joint motion suggested that the rule, as it was written, might clash with parts of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, that allow for reporting of coded medical information. However, since then, some consumer groups have been allowed by the court to step in and defend the original goal of the rule, which was to broadly stop medical debt from affecting lending decisions. This means there's ongoing legal and regulatory uncertainty. The earlier reforms from 2022 and 2023, removing paid medical debt, debts under $500, and extending the grace period, are generally in effect and have helped a lot of people. But the sweeping 2025 CFPB rule to take all medical debt off credit reports used by lenders is currently being contested. While the general direction has been towards significantly reducing or getting rid of medical debt's impact on credit scores, the final outcome and how permanent the biggest changes will be are still up in the air. With all these important changes and ongoing twists and turns, it's more important than ever to stay in the loop. Check your credit reports regularly from all three main bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can do this through the official site, annualcreditreport.com. If you see any medical debt that shouldn't be there based on the current rules, dispute it. The effort to separate health problems from financial penalties on your credit report has made some amazing strides. For many years, medical debt was a quiet destroyer of credit. Big reforms since 2022 have already lifted a lot of this weight for millions. The ambitious 2025 CFPB rule promised even more protection, aiming to make sure that getting sick wouldn't automatically mess up your financial future by hurting your credit with lenders. While the final fate of the most far-reaching parts of the 2025 rule is now caught up in legal reviews and potential changes, the overall trend has been clear. Medical debt is seen as different, and its power to wreck your credit score has been seriously reduced. Stay watchful, understand your rights, and keep pushing for a fairer credit reporting system. Your financial health is worth it.